When I was a kid, I used to believe in television. I would watch Walter Cronkite and believe what I saw. It's been 20 years since I can watch television and say that. I need something like The Real News to get truth, nuance, complexity, analysis, and something substantive.
With the proposed U.S.-Iraq security pact due to be voted on by the Iraqi parliament on November 24th, thousands of followers of Iraqi Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr converged on a central Baghdad square for a mass prayer to protest the status of forces agreement. I spoke to McClatchy correspondent Adam Asher, who was on the scene.
I went to Sadr Square in central Baghdad, and we found tens of thousands of Sadrists covering every inch of the street with prayer carpets. They were there to see political speeches at first, and then prayers. During the speeches, they were urged to reject this status of forces agreement with the U.S. It was criticized as being something that would authorize or legitimize the U.S. presence here. It should be rejected outright because it would infringe Iraqi sovereignty. It was very peaceful. The Sadrists kept everything stable and safe. You were frisked when you came in. People were very polite. And the only thing that looked kind of anti-American, well, people were saying, leave, occupy, or leave. But other than that, there was an effigy of George Bush toward the back of Sadr Square, which is where there used to be a Saddam Hussein statue. His effigy hung there during the rally, and it was pulled down at the end and burned. When that happened, many of the Iraqis left the prayer area and began marching up Sadoun Street, where they were singing Maliki is the new Saddam. They were criticizing the prime minister for supporting this agreement. There are enough votes in Parliament to pass this agreement without the Sadrists. They've been kind of written off because they made their opposition clear they're not going to budge. Instead, the ruling Shiite alliance and the Kurds who back the agreement are kind of focusing on some Sunni lawmakers. And if they can bring them in the fold, they can have an appearance of national unity. But it's completely expected to pass because there are enough votes to pass it with a simple majority already. Today's march was a statement from the Sadrists. They had to make their opinions known. They still reject the pact. They consider their position an honorable one to condemn it. And we're going to keep fighting this agreement in Parliament. The thing people are concerned about is whether Muqtada al-Sadr will call off his ceasefire if this passes Parliament. Now, people at the rally today said that the presence of the Americans makes violence more likely. It's a spark plug here. They're saying that Iraq will be safer when Americans leave, and Americans should leave immediately. The rest of Iraq seems a little more wavering. They're not really sure. Maybe they need Americans to prevent the sectarian violence that was flourishing a year and a half ago here. So it's kind of a wait and see to see how serious he is about whether he's going to call off that ceasefire.
This is the sort of thing we can build right now without anyone else's permission from the government or from the business community. It's the power's in our hands.
If we're not going to sleepwalk into more wars and into environmental disaster, we think we need to start with a television news network that won't bow to pressure and has the courage to seek facts. And that means independent economics. And that's why we need you.
Real hope means facing a complex reality. Your tax-deductible donation makes it possible. Please contribute. Visit therealnews.com.